In this section, we're going to consider the different types of backup you can create with Metalogic's Essentials for Office 365. So there are three types of backup you can create: a full backup, an incremental backup, and a differential backup. So we'll consider those in turn. So the first type of backup, a full backup, is exactly as it sounds. It backs up all of the content for that type of thing you're backing up, whether it be a SharePoint site, a OneDrive for Business, or an Exchange Online mailbox. Now, the first time you run a backup, so I'll do an example here on my finance site, just call it new. The first time you create a backup, it will create a full backup, because the incremental and differential backups must have a previous backup to compare to. So the first time you run any type of backup, whether it's SharePoint sites, OneDrives, or Exchange Online, it will create a full backup. So once that backup has been created, it displays in the backup navigator like so. It shows the date and time it was created and the nature of the backup in brackets. So now that we've got our full backup, we can subsequently make an incremental backup. So in order to do that, we right click on the project, choose update, and you'll see now we have a radio button which we can choose for incremental backup. Now, an incremental backup is explained very clearly under this help pop out here. So an incremental backup will create a backup that contains any changes since the last incremental backup. And it doesn't say it there, but I'll say it myself, or full backup. So if a previous incremental backup doesn't exist, it will look at the last full backup and backup content that contains changes. So anything that's changed in the source since the last full or incremental backup will be backed up in this backup. So let's think of an example. If I had a document library containing 10 documents, and since the last backup has taken place, only 3 of those have been modified, then the incremental backup will just back up those 3 documents. So positive reasons for doing an incremental backup are that it uses less storage, because it's only backed up things that have changed. So if you're scheduling recurring backups, in order to save space in your backup location, incremental backup is a very good idea. So the final type of backup is a differential backup, and again that's explained quite nicely in the help section here, which says this will create a backup that contains any changes since the last full backup. So what this will do, as it says, is it will look at the last time a full backup has run and then back up anything that's changed since there. So that will contain more information than doing an incremental backup if you've previously run an incremental backup. And if I just look on the right here, you see I've got a full backup, an incremental backup, and a differential backup. So when I run the incremental backup, that will look at changes since the last full or incremental. When I run a differential, it will look past the previous incremental backups. There's one there, but there could be more than one, and then compare with the last full. So in short, incremental backs up everything that's changed since the last full or incremental. Differential backs up everything that's changed since the last full, regardless of how many incrementals are in place. And those are the 3 different types of backup you can create with Essentials for Office 365.